What's going on, guys? It's your boy, the ACMJS, and I'm joined by
Me,
that guy. Uh,
your normal co-host. Nothing's changed yet.
Not
I
yet.
haven't been kicked off the podcast for talking about Nintendo.
We do have some people that will be joining us later in other
Well,
podcast
that should have been a surprise. Why didn't you really
episodes.
be surprised?
Shut
You just
up.
ruined the surprise.
I did
For
not.
the two people that watch our podcast, you just ruined the surprise. Okay.
One of the people that watch this podcast is actually the person that will be joining.
Oh my god. No, you ruined the surprise for him. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh well, he doesn't. Oh. Anyways, we have a long list of topics to get through. Some of them will be quick. Some of them will take a little bit of time. Some of them will be like a lot of time. So
Great grammar.
I phrased that really weird.
Yeah.
I went to high school. Starting off as always, Jeremy hates this topic because it's so overhyped. It is, but
It's
we
not
gotta
just
talk
that,
about
we
it.
talk about it all the time.
That is true. I do. I'm a true
One picture,
fanboy.
the entire internet explodes. It's like, dude.
This is how you build a brand.
Okay, Travis Scott.
If you don't already know what we're talking about Cyberpunk, obviously. So a couple weeks ago, or we skipped out on a week of a podcast, and we're making up for it this week.
Yeah, sorry, I was busy.
So a couple weeks ago, we learned that multiplayer is a thing for Cyberpunk now. And it will be. I'm trying to think of the word. It'll be added post launch, after they're done with the single player DLC. So essentially, we're gonna get the game. Maybe a couple months go by, we get some more like story content. A couple months go by, boom, we're hit with multiplayer. Now the question with this is, and I want to get your opinion on this, Jeremy.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
type of multiplayer are you looking forward to, or do you hope will be implemented?
The kind of multiplayer I hope for is one where, and this isn't very common in games, but it's something that I've always personally wanted, is where you take it. It's kind of how it works. I don't know. I can't think of the game off the top of my head, where you're both put into a. I think like okay, I have a dream of how it should be in my opinion, and I have a reality. My reality is I think it's gonna play like Borderlands, where it's like, both people need to start a mission. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
that kind of, where like you can go off, but like if you want to start a mission, you both have to agree. I think it'll play somewhat like that. How I want it to play is where like you can just kind of play together on an open world and do quests and do your missions, but while being in the same server. So if you want to do stuff together, you can, or also have the option of going off and doing your own stuff.
Yeah, I think that
Does
would
that make
be.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know that's not going to happen. I have a feeling it's going to be like a Borderlands or a Watchdog kind of deal.
I
Watchdogs.
I hate to say it, but I think it's gonna be one or the other. I think it's gonna be either like GTA, where there's like, it's an open world kind of, and you have
Because they
other
do have
people.
apartments and cars. Remember that.
Yeah. So I'm hoping. I don't want it to be GTA where there's like other players like just roaming in your world, and you have to
Beating the
go
crap out of you.
and you
Well,
have
I
to
mean-
go to a separate other server to do it. Even though they have
Yeah.
talked in the past about like there being like a social hub that you go to interact with other people, we don't know.
No, yeah, but what I mean is like an open world, but with like a player cap of like 4, which is like just your friends.
Right.
And maybe other people if you want. I'm not talking about like a 32. How many people is it in GTA? 32 or 64?
No
I
idea.
forget. I think it's 32. But because Rockstar servers aren't good enough to handle 64. But that's another story. I don't know what's happening. But no, I think that'll be like 2 to 4 players of your friends, and you just all get on your server with your characters and grind the game together. Because in my opinion, it's a lot more fun just to at least be in the hub with the people than just be completely on your own. I feel like it adds in my opinion, a cooler dynamic.
Right. And in terms of content, I personally wouldn't mind being able to have somebody else join me and like play through the story missions, but then that would get complicated with like the different dialogue options and everything. So
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't mind having a whole thing like Watch Dogs 2 where you have your single player somebody else can join you, but then you can go off and do other side activities and specific like online story missions.
Yeah, I get you.
And I wouldn't mind the missions being able to be, you know, 2 people minimum. I wouldn't want it to be GTA where you have to have like 4 people, where it's like, okay, we're 2 people, let's go and find 2 other random strangers to join us. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want it to be random people. I want it to be like your homies.
Right. Moving on, something that came out rather recently, Borderlands 3. A lot of people, a lot of talk, a lot of technical issues on the PC. And this was
Oh
kind of
yeah.
your topic that you brought up that you researched. So why don't you tell me about
Yeah.
that?
So I thought it's important to talk about because
Because why?
sorry, I gotta pop up. So because everybody's playing this game. Um. Damn it. Okay. So first of all, there's a game-breaking bug where like people had DirectX 12 and they'd install the game and it just continuously crashed the game, and it wasn't working. There's been complaints of super buggy interface and like inventory, which has been causing an issue because you know you can't manage your inventory. Why the hell are you playing the game? Because inventory is very important to some players, aka me. I heard there's been really choppy frame rate for PC, and all over all consoles and PC. There's been a lot of choppy frame rate. The reviews for the game are tanking. I believe Metacritic has a 4.8 user review out of 10, and people are getting pissed off. And and for streamers, oh my gosh, for streamers it's using all the up speed and on their computers, so pretty much they can't stream because it's just sucking all their speed and nobody knows why. The last thing is that the company and like the help, what do you call it? The people, whatever you call it, the help desk, whatever.
IT.
Thank you. IT is just saying to address the frame rate issues, just lower the resolution.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
And those are
It's
specific to PC players?
Yeah. Yep.
And then I did a little bit of research on the other side to see what was happening. Apparently, for like the regular base consoles, PS4 and Xbox, they're fine. Like everything runs fine. But apparently on the Xbox One X, the frame rate is also like an issue. There's lag, and apparently the game crashes quite a bit.
For what? The same game?
Yeah, for Borderlands.
Bro, sorry. I'm
3.
trying to figure out this issue with this. Yeah, no, I can't play this game on my PC. Bummer. But no, yeah.
Borderlands?
No, Modern Warfare Beta. I gotta figure out how to install it. But no, yeah, so. Yeah, it's become an issue. People are very upset. There's also another issue where people are like, hey, this is literally just Borderlands 2, but more of it. This isn't anything new. And
Right.
some people love that because they just wanted more Borderlands, like me, personally. I don't care. Like, there's not much more you can do with the game except make another super solid game. But some people are, like, throwing pissy fits, and they're like, hey, this isn't what I paid for. And it's like, did you... So, there's, like, the community's kind of at a divide right now with the people that are satisfied and people that are not satisfied. If that makes sense.
Right.
So that's the other issue.
And I think another issue is, and we were talking a little bit about this earlier, another issue is that like there's so many games that are being hyped up that it's like we can't wait for them to come out, that certain games that are coming out now are underperforming, and it's making us be like almost second guess ourselves, I guess.
Yeah.
Like this is the first game that one of my friends actually pre-ordered, and he likes it really well. Actually, he's like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. It's cool. I like it so far."
Wait, Borderlands?
Yeah, 3.
Well, yeah, because in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with it. The only reason I haven't bought it is because I don't know if I can run it on PC, so I'm probably just going to get on PS4, but it's like, I don't want to pay $60 for a game right now.
Not only that, but the 6-month delay, I think, for Steam.
You see, I was worried about getting it on Steam, but after not being able to run Modern Warfare, I kind of don't think, I'm not optimistic, so.
Right.
Nah, yeah.
And I think anything else on that topic?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the game and I'll review it at some point, but it won't be for a minute because I don't want to pay.
You're
Now
gonna
I
get it
want to
on
get
sale.
it. I want to get it now because I might get it on PS4. Because I love Borderlands. It's just like, nah, man, I can't deal with that crap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, nah.
I played I played Tales from Borderlands, Borderlands 2, when they were free on the PlayStation Store, or the Handsome Jack
I
collection.
have it. Yeah, I have the Handsome Jack collection.
Moving on, I think it was this week or last week. Rockstar Games. You actually brought up this subject. I had no knowledge of this whatsoever.
Yeah.
Rockstar Games, if you didn't know, is planning
Good slash
their
bad.
own launcher. It's going to be another app that we have to download on the good old desktop, just like Ubisoft with their stupid their Uplay Plus or whatever, where it's if you get the subscription, you get like all these games for free or whatever. However, with Rockstar, you get GTA San Andreas for a limited time,
Free.
and so
if you're into that, go download it right now because I don't know if it's still going on. But if you own it, go get that game because I know there's a huge amount of people that love that game.
hashtag not sponsored.
I'll sponsor Rockstar. They gave me Red Dead 2.
Okay, all right. But the question we had, or I had, is, is this the start of something more? We have a launcher now. Could this be the precursor to finally, after all these years, launching Red Dead 1 on PC and then launching Red Dead 2? I don't know if they're going to do it.
So nice.
If I were them, I would. Because then it just gives everybody an incentive to play through the game again, and then also obviously online multiplayer where they make all that money. So we'll see what happens with there, because it's the same thing with GTA 5. Everybody bought it on the 360 when it first came out, and then they're like, okay, we'll buy it on the PS4 or the Xbox, and then PC. Wow, cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is something I came across. I don't think you had any knowledge, or you had seen it, but you didn't know what it was about. So YouTube has updated their verified status. Now, this is something that neither me or you cared about, because neither of us are verified on YouTube. However, the way that they're managing this is kind of interesting. They're managing it to where you're only quote unquote verified if you're like a celebrity or like a public figure. So for example, like Jimmy Kimmel, James Corden, Jimmy Fallon, or if you're like a big like name brand like Xbox or PlayStation. So this again goes to the fact that the upper YouTube management doesn't really listen to us and doesn't really care about its own creators, because they're removing this verified tick. Personally, I don't care. I was never gonna get verified to begin with, so
That's okay. It's gonna be okay.
it's interesting to me that this is a move they decided to pull. And then now we have one of your subjects coming up that you should probably talk about, because I have no idea. I don't care.
Speaking of remastered, dude, they put Final Fantasy VIII remastered on the PS4. Oh, buddy, I'm gonna play on PS1. So Final Fantasy VII got a new trailer. It was at an event in Japan, and it looks so sick.
Oh,
I'm still playing through it right now.
Was that the Tokyo Game Show that it was released at?
Yeah. It was that. And dude, it looks so good. It's way different than how normal Final Fantasy plays, obviously, but it looks so nice. And so far, there's like no really backlash. It's just overwhelming hype. So fingers crossed. My goal is just to get through it on my Switch because I want to finish it, and then I play that like non-stop because that's one of the games I'm looking forward to the most, next to my biggest game right now is Kakarot. But besides that, I'm really excited for Final Fantasy because I really like Cloud. So yeah, but that's all I got. Chi.
And the next topic is yours as well, because I don't want nothing to do with
Oh,
this.
no, okay, so Jonah is a big Kingdom Hearts fan, if you guys didn't know. He loves the game. But quick filler topic before I get into this. Castle Crashers got a remaster, and they added some new stuff.
A new remaster on like a specific console?
PC, console, everything. And it's new style. I believe they added more areas to the game and they added more content. So yeah, but if you're a big fan of that like me, but I'm not buying it because I'm not really trying to spend all my money, which I really want to buy it though. Yeah, no, that's out right now. So if you want to buy that, if you're interested, go get it because I'm at some point going to get it and play through it for hours with my friends. Anyways, Kingdom Hearts DLC, there's a new trailer released. It's Kingdom Hearts Remind, and you're pretty much going to be able to play as all the other characters, and people are very 50-50 about it, but I'm a blind Kingdom Hearts fan, so for me, I'm just excited. So yeah, because anything Kingdom Hearts makes me happy at this point. I'm not trying to be negative about it anymore. But yeah, no, so the new DLC, you're going to be able to play as, like, I'm pretty sure it, like, Aqua, Roxas, Axel, some of the G's. And they're adding new bosses, and I don't know what else. There's supposed to be this new kind of thing where I forget what they call it exactly, but it's like a quick shot mechanic, and people are kind of excited for that. So yeah, that oh hey, Kingdom Hearts. Oh yeah, so everybody's excited for that. So I am personally. So we'll see what happens with that.
I actually really hope you enjoy that to the extent.
Wow, you're being nice to me.
To the extent that you want to. You said that comes out in December.
Yes, sir, and I am beyond hype. When it comes out, I'm gonna be my lid because I am a huge Kingdom Hearts fanboy.
I'll still be playing Death Stranding. Actually, I'll probably still be playing Fallen Order.
Yeah, nice. Persona 5's on sale. I need to get that.
Moving on. This is actually a really small like news tidbit. So everybody was worried that like Ghost of Tsushima like was a canceled project because we haven't heard anything about it in such a long time. And actually, we got a little update. Apparently, the boss or the head of Sony said that he was quote unquote really impressed with the graphics. And I think that was like just recently, and I think it made headlines because anything, even with the hint or whiff of Sony in it, makes waves. So that'll be interesting to see. I think it'll come out at the end of the year next year. More on that later. Next is, you said this would be interesting, and I'm wondering also
I would buy them, yeah.
What game this is going to come out for. Is Nintendo has released a new Joy-Con patent with the sides or the edge, the top, not halves, like the top thirds, I guess. Maybe top thirds, like just bend.
Top thirds, I'd say.
Just bend, which
you can put it on the screen.
I don't have the picture actually.
Dang it, that disappoints me. Yeah, keep going.
But
no, something else. But keep going.
But yeah, so this will be an interesting. I'm more interested in the game that it's going to be paired with and how like ergonomically correct they feel. I guess if that makes sense. And then something else. This is so stupid. This came out I think early this week or last week as well. Sony has come out and said, you know the controls for the PlayStation controllers.
Yes.
It's triangle, square, circle, and X.
And cross, yeah.
X, and then you have cross, Xbox, where it's Y, B, X, and A. Apparently, according to the official Sony patent for the PS4, it's called the Cross.
Did you see that meme I sent you last night about it?
Yes.
That was pretty funny. I thought you'd laugh.
I didn't. I was like, that's stupid. Anyways. So, yeah, I've always called it the X button because cross is just weird to me, and plus is not right either. It'll always be X.
Yeah, it's an X. You can't say it's a cross and then tilted.
Yeah, it's that. Anyways, continuing on with the Sony or PS4, um, apparently 7.0 update came out, and really the only major thing that happened was if your TV has HDR control settings or whatever, you can fine tune it to where you can like change colors and stuff, which I think is pretty cool.
Nice.
And then getting kind of somewhat into the meat of majority of this podcast, hopefully. Um, Sony State of Play is September 24th. And we kind of, yeah, next Tuesday. We kind of saw this coming a little bit. Uh, Maybe, I think it was earlier this week, maybe Monday or Tuesday. The Last of Us account and Neil Druckmann tweeted out a media event Tuesday, September 24th. And everybody was like, "Oh, we're gonna get Last of Us. We're gonna get the release date, and all this." And it wasn't until I think today that Sony confirmed that it's gonna actually be a part of a state of play, quote unquote.
Okay.
So I don't think we'll get new gameplay. I think maybe we'll get a new trailer and a release date.
Got it.
So that'll be interesting. I'm also interested to see what else they have. Because they'll definitely have Death Stranding there as well, because that's the next one to come out. So if that theory is correct, we have Death Stranding, gonna have The Last of Us at this event. I think Last of Us 2 will come out between January and May next year, and Ghost of Tsushima will not be till November or December. And I'm basing that off of what they did this year, which is they did Days Gone in April, and then they did Death Stranding in November. Speaking of Death Stranding, we had got a ton of new info and gameplay from the Tokyo Game Show, all in Japanese. And I, the true fanboy that I am, watched all of it, even though I wasn't able to understand a single word.
I'm so like brainwashed by JoJo subbed right now that I just think in JoJo. It's funny.
Oh god.
Right,
Okay.
keep going.
So with Death Stranding, they basically he gave us a presentation of like basic gameplay, which was I think it was like an hour presentation of gameplay. Then the next day he gave us 30 minutes of just customization features, and I'm talking like out the wazoo. Like there's a little hub that you have that you can customize the color. You can customize the color of like everything, just different designs and everything. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting.
Okay.
Another little tidbit while they were doing the Tokyo Game Show, Keanu Reeves visited Kojima's studio, signing the wall that said "Save us, Hideo." And I thought that was interesting. A lot of people were like, "Oh, is he going to be in the game?" I think he'll make a cameo appearance.
Comes in and kills the main villain with a Lego brick.
Lego brick.
Just it's like, bro, I've been fighting this guy for like 3 days.
The
Just kill him with a Lego. Sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. Kills him with a Lego.
I love that meme. It's like John Wick picks up Lego, bad guy.
Yeah. The other thing with the customization features is when they had Norman Reed. I say Norman Reedus. The character's name is Sam. Was like sitting in a bed, and like.
Say Norman Reedus.
Okay, Norman Reedus sitting in a bed, and there's like a camera that you're looking at him, and I don't know. Nobody really knows exactly what's happening here, but it's like the camera is watching him, and he'll do stuff depending on what you do with the camera. And one of the things the presenter did was like kept staring at Norman Reedus' crotch, and so he just goes up and punches the camera. And I was like, that's pretty funny. It's like, don't stare at his crotch or you'll get punched in the face. Kind of our big last topic, I guess, and I want to get your opinion on this too.
I don't know much about it, and I didn't look into it because I figured it'd be fun to talk about on the podcast. I already know what this is.
Oh, you do?
The only other big thing. Yeah, everybody's been talking about it.
Oh, see, I've only heard about this from one person. So ESA, if you don't know what that is, it's electronic service something. Um, Controlling the media. If you don't know what the ESA is, it's basically a giant corporation. A bunch of like gaming companies are a part of it, and E3, Electronic Arts Entertainment, the big showcase that everybody is skeptical about because their gameplay doesn't match what actually comes out as the actual product. E3 is their main source of revenue. If you can think about it, you have X amount of public people that are buying tickets to go. You have X amount of like game journalists and whatnot that are also going. So they make a lot of money, to say the least.
Yeah, I want to go.
I do
Not
not.
anymore though.
I used to, and now I don't.
Yeah, same
Um,
here.
and also, I didn't know this, but a little tidbit is that this group, the ESA, is actually against loot box regulation. What I mean by that is they are the ones who want to keep loot boxes in place to continue generating
Yeah,
revenue.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Um, Apparently, they were hacked. Not then. This wasn't the first time. They've been hacked several times, which leaked personal info about like game developers and game journalists and certain celebrities.
Oh, yikes.
Their private info, media attendees, vendors, everything has been leaked, and this is like the fourth or fifth time that this has happened. But we got some interesting info with this leak. Um, the company, ESA, they want to pay, okay? They want to pay people in media like outlets for promotion. But or they want to pay for it, they want to control what's being said and what's shown, but they don't want people to know that it's them doing it.
Oh, brother, here we go.
Um so it's kind of interesting. It's just like what's it called? There's another company, the company GOG.com that does like sells cheap games, game codes and Steam codes.
I think.
Apparently, they were what's confronted with one of these issues where um, something about like they're basically reselling Steam keys that like other people have already bought. And they're like, "Oh, we didn't do that," and then they went to an editor of like a media outlet and said, "Hey, we want you to write this and say this, but not say we're associated with it." It's kind of the same thing.
Okay.
Um, and in this leak happening, we got some more info about next year's show. Um, and they know for a fact that people are tired of watching E3. I mean, I, all of this
Nintendo
past,
Direct is better than E3. Changed my mind.
so is Sony's State of Play.
Exactly. Changed my mind.
But it's interesting because, like, this past E3, there was one conference I was, like, even remotely interested in, and it was the Microsoft one. Every other conference was just kind of like, ugh, get to the games we want to see already.
Yeah, I feel you on that one 100%.
And if you go back and you watch like any of my streams, I almost don't talk at all because I'm so bored and I'm tired. Also, it didn't help the fact that Sony like dropped out, so I was like, well, there went the main thing I was looking forward to. So now it's like, let's watch Xbox. However, we were pleasantly surprised with a couple of goodies that came out. Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk with Microsoft.
I'm one of the fans yelling in the crowd.
You're breathtaking. That meme.
No, you're breathtaking.
But they know that people are tired of watching it because they saw my stream and they're like, he's really tired. We should do something about this.
Mm-hmm.
And they know people are tired. They know that people don't really trust their company right now because again, the gameplay that's shown in the trailers is miles off from what's actually happening.
Oh yeah.
Three perfect examples actually.
Assassin's Creed.
Anthem.
Every time there was an Assassin's Creed game, not up to par. But keep going.
That's not true. Origins was actually pretty spot on. So was Black Flag.
I'm not talking about Origins. I'm talking about like other ones, like 3. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, keep going.
Oh, okay. Anthem. The gameplay that was shown as like cohesive and like working together, did not work at all.
Oh yeah, that game's like, they're canceling they're removing and canceling the
The roadmap.
roadmap for
Yep.
that game. Yeah, it's in flames, man. EA's going downhill.
I mean, they've always been there.
And sadly, we're gonna have to support EA because they own Respawn. But I love Respawn, even though they're getting risky. So
We'll see. We'll see with that. But two perfect examples of like the E3 presentation is The Division and Watch Dogs, both coincidentally Ubisoft games. The Division because there was a lot more like environment to the game. Like you can go on YouTube and watch like multiple different videos of like the E3 demo in the same area compared to the gameplay, and there was a lot more trash and a lot more environmentalism. The menus, the HUD, the UI was all changed. Same thing with Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs was a lot more graphically pleasing than the actual game that came out. And of course, to kind of get more people into E3, they want to hire celebrities and actors to increase the quote unquote entertainment value rather than like the actual game information.
Oh, brother.
So here's my thing, and I always have a problem with EA, not only because they're like a bad company, but because last year they had somebody, I don't remember his name, but they also had Juju Smith Schuster. Stupid name.
No. Don't hate on Juju. Juju is a freaking beast.
Okay.
Don't be that
But
guy,
the way that he presented and like the line, okay, so the way he did it is fine, but like the words that came out were obviously scripted and it was so cringy. And also, not
so
last
much.
year, but the year before that, where EA literally had 30 minutes and it was focused on a mobile game. That was kind of ridiculous.
Remember the poor Diablo fans? Yeah, we all laugh. It's gonna be us soon.
Oh yeah. Anyways,
sorry.
so I have a question for you.
And I have an answer.
Do you think that this is the reason that Sony pulled out of E3 last year?
Yeah, most likely. I mean, let's be honest. We all think E3 is boring.
True.
And they know that they can just do what they need to do, and it'll be way more fun.
True.
And people will actually care.
So E3, you know it.
And honestly, I think it's better. Like I don't care about E3 at all, but when Nintendo Direct comes around, I'm sitting in my seat anticipating what's going to be on the screen.
That's me.
Sony's doing it. Yeah, I was just about to go. Yeah, and Sony's doing that right because they're going to do the same thing, and Nintendo started it. That's the funny thing. You know, all these other companies are like, "Yo, let's do the same thing." Have you seen Donkey's Xbox Direct? That's like the best video ever.
And the funny thing is that EA was even like, we're not a part of E3. We got our own like show, and it's like, okay, cool. So Microsoft has, you know, that's another thing I actually kind of want to get into. That's not on here. Is we have Sony versus Xbox. That's kind of like what it's always been.
Sony wins.
Nintendo has always been in the sidelines as like a competitor.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, in like earlier in their career.
You're not gonna expect what I'm gonna say. I don't think they're in the sidelines. I think they're off doing their own thing.
Yeah.
It has nothing to. I don't like to put Nintendo in the conversation with Xbox and PS4 because Nintendo for a while was all on the DS and then the Wii U. The Wii U was a console, but at the same time, I don't really feel like Nintendo does their own thing and they profit so well off their own thing, you know?
Yeah.
And they don't have the intent of competing with them necessarily.
Yeah.
But they focus on the Nintendo brand, and that's why I like them. They're not focused on one up in the other thing. They're just worried about their brand.
Which I find interesting, and now that you say that, I do agree with you, because it seems like they're almost, they are focused on their own stuff, and it seems like they're focused on like family friendly stuff. Like you have the Switch,
Pokemon, Smash Bros.
Well, I was gonna say
Mario, all these kid games that everybody plays.
Well, I was gonna say you have the Switch, which is literally two controllers. It's meant for multiple people to play at the same time, you know?
Yeah, Nintendo's meant to be for everyone. It's not meant to be for one person.
Right.
Does that make sense? Because you can make one controller and two controllers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you're right on that. I see what you're saying.
But it's interesting because Dunkey even made a really good point
Oh, I love Donkey.
that, and this is, you know, my thinking too. You have Xbox and you have Sony. Xbox is more about quantity than quality. Sony is more about
Yeah.
quality than quantity, which is why, you know, you look at Xbox, you're like, okay, what are their games? What do they have? Gears of War and Halo.
Halo.
Most
That's
people
it.
would just say Halo or stick to Halo.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
honestly wasn't even. I loved. But I honestly just said Halo because I'm a huge Halo fan. But let's be honest, there hasn't been a good Halo since Halo Reach. So it's like you don't play Halo. I forgot.
No.
But no, like Halo Reach was the last good Halo. So it's like, and if you people like Halo 4, Halo 5, you can leave. You're not welcome here. If you want some rebranded Call of Duty trash, you call Halo 4, go somewhere else. But no, yeah, that's just my opinion. But yeah, no, the last good Halo game was Halo Reach, and that's a fact. But I just can feel my friends' voices chiming in my head. Halo 4 was good. No, it's not. But yeah, no. So sorry, I get really heated. In my opinion, Reach, unpopular opinion, because Halo 3 is the most popular one. My favorite is Reach, but Halo 3 slaps too. So I'm not gonna hate on Halo 3 because that game's like the GOAT. But no, yeah. So like the last good Halo was Halo Reach. So it's like, well, why are you so like Halo Infinite? We don't even think about it. And Donkey even had a good point. It's like, how do we not know it's just another trashy reboot? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like I was like, and that made me sad because I'm like, damn it, he's right. I was like, why? You killed my hype.
and that's the thing is that like with Sony, you have so many different things that like define it, and it's interesting.
Kingdom Hearts at the time was, and I was so mad when they went to Xbox. I'm like, no. Whenever I see the Xbox controls pop up on the Kingdom Hearts interface, it literally triggers me.
Well, not only
pisses
that,
me off.
but Metal Gear Solid, I think 5.
Metal Gear's not on. No, it's. I don't think it. Here, I'll Google it.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is on the 360, I believe, or not the Xbox One. I think. I'm pretty sure.
If it is, I'm gonna be pissed.
I think it is.
You're right. It is. Dang it, dude.
But
Why
for
would you do that?
but for a while, it was like for PS2, it was like the thing, and then of course we have Uncharted. Now we have.
Oh yeah, Uncharted is crazy.
Now we have The Last of Us, Horizon, Spider-Man, the whole God of War series. It's like if you can't find something, you can go to. They have multiple. It's like, oh, Xbox,
Also,
boom, Halo.
Yeah, no, I know, but really quick, sorry. Just the other thing, I'm not a big fan of it personally, but a lot of people are really excited the new Avengers game. That's another thing that's coming to the PS4.
Is it exclusive to PS4?
Yeah, I haven't seen it talked about at all for Xbox.
Gross.
I've only seen it associated with PS4.
Gross.
Which, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I think it'll do just as good as Spider-Man, but I'm not a personal fan of it because I'm so sick of the.
I don't think it will
Marvel
be.
stuff.
I think it'll flop, honestly.
Let's just wait and see. How about that?
Well, my theory is I think it'll flop, and I'll tell you why. Because we need more stuff to talk about.
Oh, I have it. We actually have one more topic at the bottom that you missed. Our disappointment.
No, yeah. I know. That'll be later. What was I going on about? Oh yeah, Avengers. So again, you know, Square Enix. It's like, oh wow, it's Square Enix E3.
Hey, do not hate on my boys Square Enix.
Can you like shut up for a couple of minutes?
Hey, you smash them all the time.
Okay, can I get this out, please?
No, you're not allowed. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, personally, I'm not bashing on Square Enix. I'm just saying, personally, there was nothing that I was interested in during their conference. So for me, I was like, oh, this is a waste of time. For me, personally. If you go back and
that makes sense.
Watch like my stream, it's like, oh, this remake, that remake, this remake, that remake, and then it's like, boom, Avengers, and I'm like, this is weird because we literally just had Endgame where like they're dead, and it's like they're trying to gain capital off of what they're doing. But what a lot of people don't realize is a lot of people are burned out at this point on Marvel movies
Oh, I'm so burnt out.
because Endgame was like it. They're like, okay, that's I'm done, you know. And now Marvel is like, oh, but we have the Disney Plus TV shows, we have more movies. It's like, yeah, cool, but there's a select few that I'm gonna go see. I'm not gonna go see all of them like I did with this other franchise.
Yeah, the pre Captain Marvel era. That was the golden days, boys. That was the golden days right there.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, sure, I'll watch the Loki TV series and I'll be interested in the Doctor
And the
Strange and the
Moon
Thor
Knight.
movie.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But it's
Oh,
like,
and She-Hulk looks tight.
all these other little, things. It's kind of like, eh. So for Avengers, for them to be like all together, like on the screen in a video game, it's like y'all couldn't have done this before the movie came out
I
and
played Ultimate
gotten
Alliance too. I got what I wanted.
and gotten more of it.
Ow, ow. But yeah.
And the funny thing is, two of my favorite voice actors are in it, Nolan North and Troy Baker.
Oh,
But
who are they playing? Who are voicing?
Thor and I want to say Iron Man.
That's sick.
I
I
don't.
actually, okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not talk about Marvel. I personally would buy this game in a heartbeat. Would you? They're not gonna do it because they instead they did some dumb VR thing. Would you ever be interested in buying an Iron Man solo game?
Yes.
Because I would love that. I think that would be such an interesting game.
Here's the problem with that is that we have been wanting and we, I mean Marvel fans, have been wanting. We want an Iron Man game, right? Exactly like Spider-Man, like third person, like you fly around in the suit, you got different powers and stuff as you go through the game. That's what we wanted. We didn't want this VR crap that Sony is selling where it's only a first person Iron Man. No. I don't like it. If we got another one that wasn't VR, yes, I would buy it in a heartbeat. Because of the MCU, I have I have three different superheroes I really like. I really like Iron Man because he's the equivalent. He's the Marvel version of Batman. I really like Spider-Man. And I love Doctor Strange.
You like Spider-Man?
I do like Spider-Man. Well, this current version of
I
Spider-Man with
find
Tom
his.
Holland.
I find his. Yeah, that's true. I like Tom Holland. I just find their fan base extremely annoying. It's the reason I dislike Spider-Man because they've just irritated me. It's like they're like I equivalent the whole Marvel fandom franchise as a whole. I equivalent to Logic fans and the people in Logic stands. Hip hop heads. I love Logic, but hip hop heads know what I'm talking about because it's toxic and cancer. It's awful, but no, yeah. So that's why I equivalent the Marvel fan base to.
Right. And then
So, yeah.
also it's again back to this whole idea of currently we're in this rut. It's like, okay, what are we looking for? What are the big releases that have yet to come out? It's like we're playing these games that are coming out as we're waiting for them, and they're not satisfying us. They're like lackluster. And I personally,
Yeah, I agree with you. There's been no game. The only game that satisfied me lately is Black Flag, and that's old. It's like there have been no good games. It kind of sucks.
you played that like when did you finish it? Like a month ago now?
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm while we were doing the podcast, I was making a list of all the games that I need to play. I think I'm gonna hop on Brotherhood next. To be honest,
And
that
then
game's so good. Oh,
and
I
then-
can get it. That's another topic, but yeah.
well, yeah, I love the game too. For
I
me,
think I think it's one of the best.
oh yeah. And then for me, I've been playing, or I was playing Assassin's Creed 2 for a while because I'm trying to 100% complete the Ezio collection, which I still need to do.
Nice.
But then Arkham Knight came out for free. Batman Arkham Knight came out for free if you're a PSN member or whatever.
Yes, sir.
And I downloaded it, and I'm like, I never actually finished the game. So I'm like, I'll play through this, and then I'll go back to Assassin's Creed. Hopefully, Assassin's Creed will hold me over until Death Stranding. And my channel has been kind of lack of content because there's nothing that I want to upload at this moment because there aren't any games coming out.
Oh yeah, we gotta first episode of Battle Block. We gotta do the next episode.
That's right,
I'm
Battle
so
Block
mad that I
Theater.
have to skip the. I found a mic that'll work, but it was awful. This mic's trash.
Yeah, so I do have a recording of Battle Block Theater. You do not.
But just upload yours. My plan is just to link yours to into my second video. Just link the original video to you and be like, just go watch his. Does that
Right.
make sense?
I haven't uploaded that because I usually do like where I get like an archive of videos, and then I'll upload like every other day until whenever. So yeah, it's definitely a process.
Oh, I deserve to lose. I just messed it up.
Also, how did you? Oh, you didn't record with webcam. You just did the gameplay in your voice, didn't you? For Battle Block.
What? I just used my crappy mic, but I have another mic that I might use.
Okay. See,
Actually, let's test this out right now. Hold on. Tell me how much better this mic sounds, but just keep talking about whatever you're talking about.
okay, all right. Well, what
Because
I
I
was
switched.
all right. What I was gonna say is because my Elgato has decided to stop working.
Oh,
Uh,
joy. Those are expensive too, huh?
yeah, for whatever reason. I think it's because I had to update it and close it out, and I wasn't giving it a
How's
what
this?
talk.
Hello.
It's better.
Is it better? How much better? Like significantly?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, I'll use this. I'm using my Beats, my like 2015 Beats.
Ah,
Yeah. Okay, I'll start using it. I mean, the only reason I didn't use them was sweating them all the time, but it's been a minute, so they're fine now.
right. But
I'll use these when I talk now. But keep going. Sorry, I just wanted to double check really quick.
no, you're good. The Elgato it just stopped working. So that I was just curious if you had used webcam or not, because I think I did. I think I used webcam for the first video, but for playing anything, I mean, and I'll continue using the webcam for anything on PC.
What do you mean by webcam? Like OBS? Because that's what I use.
No, not like an actual webcam that like went over the footage.
Okay.
But what I was gonna say is the way I usually record stuff for console is I'll have the Elgato on my middle monitor,
Mm-hmm.
and then OBS will be on my left monitor. And the only way that I can record this is if I have OBS recording the middle monitor and then my webcam over it. And then of course I'm looking at the third monitor which has the gameplay on it.
Got it.
But since the Elgato no longer works, I'm gonna have to go back to what I originally did, which is record off of the PlayStation and upload to YouTube off of the PlayStation.
Oh god, that's horrific.
Yeah, but it's the only solution that I have at the moment. I mean, I could like try to rig up the Elgato again, but I really don't feel like rigging up the Elgato again. So, until I get really annoyed with it, we'll see what happens. Also, I think it's more immersive a little bit. Just my voice instead of like a square in my face like covering up a corner. Especially for games like The Last of Us, because Death Stranding,
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are going to actually take a really quick break,
What?
and we are back. Sorry, I had to go do something real quick. Where were? Oh yeah, I was talking about the Elgato. So I'm hoping that that'll be an immersive experience,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping that I'll get annoyed eventually and just put the Elgato back. But I always had a problem with the Elgato because it's like a 3 second delay with your hearing, or 3 or 4 5 second delay with your hearing. So it's like what you would see on the PlayStation, you would hear it like 5 seconds later, but it would be in sync with the Elgato gameplay on the monitor, which was weird. So I think for my sake, because I was going insane, like just listening to delayed audio. So I think it'll be better for me personally just to upload from YouTube with actually this mic attached to the PlayStation. I think that's all we have except for the last topic. If you wanna get in on the last topic.
Sorry, I had to unplug my mic. Were you saying something?
If you want to start talking about the last topic.
Yeah. My disappointment. I want my $50.
So, there's
So
l-
far, so far,
yeah,
so far. I want to. It was only 21 people hate on it. My G.
yeah. So we both bought Greedfall, and we've barely played any of it. Uh, for me, it's interesting so far. However, I haven't been back to play it since. I played it like
Yeah,
twice, I believe.
I played it 3 times.
So we'll see where that goes. Our reviews are pending. Probably to
So
never
far, just utter disappointment.
see the light of day.
Yeah,
We
a lot
will
of
see.
dollars wasted.
What's the next? Oh, the next game for me is Death Stranding. I already paid $80 for that, so we'll see how that goes.
Can't wait. I wasted $80. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We'll see how that goes. Ah,
Yeah, no, I wanna. I just want Kakarot to come out. I'm thinking about buying the deluxe edition because I want that statue, that collect edition.
and I guess we're down to like general questions at this point. Um,
Hi.
how are
Well,
you?
what?
What? Oh, movies. What?
Uh,
Have you seen anything recently? Because I haven't.
nah, dude. I want to go see it too. I want to see Joker, but I just don't care enough to spend money.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah, the only
see
reason I
Teenage
ever
Joker.
saw movies was for dates. That was the only reason I ever saw movies.
Hmm.
Now that I'm single, I have no reason to go to the. To be completely honest. So yeah,
Do you
that's not
not
the point I'm at.
do you not go watch movies with like just your parents or parent?
No.
Wow, I go watch movies with my parents all the time. But yeah, I think my dad wanted to go see Joker, but that hasn't been out yet. And I'm like, I want to see it chapter 2. They're like, that's too scary. I'm like, okay.
It's not even that scary.
Yeah. Um, I think that's gonna be about it for this podcast. Oh boy.
Hold on.
Oh boy. Um, yeah. So hopefully we covered everything. In this 3 weeks. Oh God. In this 3 weeks. So Borderlands. Da-da-da.
Um, you like? Cause I love to talk about music.
Music. What about it?
Well, new 182 album came out. It's actually impressed me. I didn't expect it to be that good, and it actually blew me away. I can connect to the album very well, and I think everybody should give it a listen if you're a alternative or rock fan, whatever that genre. I don't know. There's so many genres nowadays. But yeah, no, that came out. The hip hop fans, a smaller artist, and Jack Harlow dropped an album. If you're into him, I didn't really. I got halfway through and said, This sounds exactly like his last 2 albums." I was getting irritated. However, I did like the Oddish reference. That was pretty cool. From Pokemon. Da Baby dropped a song, and like always, Sir Russ dropped a song. Everybody's favorite. And somebody else dropped a song. I'm blanking right now. I spend too much time with music.
Yeah. Don't we
Yeah,
all?
no, that was it. That was it that I know of. But no, yeah. So, yeah, it's hype. So yeah, no, yeah. If an album came out that wasn't that I knew more on, because I don't know too much on Blink, and Blink fans are kind of crazy when it comes to talking on it. I'm pretty sure you'll get somebody in your comments if there were Blink fans, because I know only two watch this podcast. They'd be like, "It wasn't good. Old Blink's better than this," and I suffer. So yeah, I don't care about your opinion. I'm just listening to them. And guess what? Whether you may think it's bad, but it's still good. Yeah, matter. This is how you have to deal with people when it comes to. Yeah. So that's all I got on music.
By the time, actually, the week after, yeah, by the time we record our next podcast, Sony State of Play would have already happened, so that'll be fun. However, I'm already mad because I will be in class. I'll literally be in class
Oh my
when.
god, I left, dude. I literally hauled from class to watch the Nintendo Direct. I like darted. It was so bad. I zoomed home. I was like, bro, I'm not missing Smash character reveal. Foolishly thinking it was Sora.
Maybe I should skip out of class. That's like 30 minutes early though.
Nah, dude, don't do it. I
Yeah.
didn't skip out of class. I just darted out of class. Like, I was like, okay, I gotta get home.
We'll see.
Don't drop class for something you can easily find out later. No.
What I'll do. The thing that sucks is it starts at I think 3 my time, so it'll be 1 your time. That's when it starts. So usually I would do like a live stream for something like this, but I can't. So what I'll do is I'll hold off on seeing anything until after. Like when I get home, I'll like put up OBS and record my like live reaction to it. Hopefully I don't waste my time because the previous couple of ones have been kind of eh. Like we had, oh, here's Days Gone, and then it was like, oh, here's Days Gone. It was like, cool. I think they showed a little bit Death Stranding, but not much. Not too much. All right, I think. I think that's it for this podcast.
Bet.
Hopefully we will have more to talk. Actually, we will have more to talk about because I'll just fan out about Sony.
And then I'll just sit there and kick it.
All right. Well, that's been the Games and Things podcast, episode 5. Please leave a comment or a like. I don't.
Trying to get more than 2 views, guys.
Yeah.
If we can hit 3, that'd be a solid day.
Those are rookie numbers. We gotta bump those numbers up.
2 views, more like, let's try 5. I'm shooting for the stars here. But 5. Okay, I'm done.
Maybe like 1 like at least. Maybe a subscriber.
1 like would be insane, bro.
All right. We'll talk to you guys in the next one.
Peace.